in today's world with social media, there are just so many things being thrown at you, videos, tutorials, product recommendations by so many different people. And the one thing I hear from a lot of women is they're just exhausted by it all. It just feels like none of it's actually for them. So when I have people come to my studio and want to talk about their skincare and beauty routine, I try to just simplify it and ask them what they're using, but also just ask them how these products make them feel. Do they like them? I mean, you're using something because someone told you to, but do you really like the product? Do you feel good using it? Their routine shouldn't feel stressful. It should feel sustainable and something that they can do every day. So from there, I'm more focused on just simplifying the routine, finding things that actually work for their skin and their lifestyle. So more about what works for them and not what they should be doing according to, the rest of the beauty world.
Right. Welcome to the Erie Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Brunetti. Each week, I sit down with local doctors, therapists, wellness professionals, and community voices to have thoughtful, real conversations about what it actually means to feel better. This podcast was created because wellness can feel overwhelming. My goal is to help cut through that noise by highlighting trusted resources right here in our community and having conversations that feel approachable, honest, and grounded in real life. Whether you're navigating a season of change, looking for support, or simply curious about what's available to you locally, this is your space to learn, reflect, and feel supported. Because when you start to feel better, you start showing up in all areas of your life, and you deserve that. I'm really glad you're here. Let's get into today's conversation. Hello, everyone. I hope you are off to a great start to your week. Today's conversation is one I think many listeners will connect with because it's not just about beauty, it's about confidence, care, and feeling truly comfortable in your own skin. Today, I'm sitting down with Andrea Turner, a licensed esthetician and Erie business owner who has spent over 2 decades in the beauty industry. Her work goes beyond skincare. It's about creating a space where her clients feel seen, supported, and empowered, whether it's through a consultation or simply just a meaningful conversation inside her suite. Andrea brings a thoughtful perspective to beauty, balance, and self-care, and I'm really excited to share this conversation with you. Let's get into it. I would love for you to start off by sharing your story today with our listeners. You've worked hands-on with women for over 21 years in this industry. What originally drew you to this work, and how has your definition of beauty evolved over time?
I really found makeup artistry appealing. That was sort of the first thing that led me into the esthetician career. I think for me, I was more drawn to the artistry of it and just all the fun you could have with it. I mean, I was, 18, 19 years old. So I just really thought it was so fun and creative and artistic. And so that's what drew me in. And I think over the years, for me, that's changed just learning about what women really need and want. And as I've aged, I've kind of learned how that just changes. Your life changes, your schedule changes. For me now, it's more about just confidence and comfort and ease and feeling empowered in your own skin. So that's sort of the path that I've gone down of the ever evolving world of beauty.
Mm-hmm. And what different spaces have you worked in over the last?
So I've worked retail cosmetics. I worked in various different spas. I now have my own business, so I do a little bit of everything, but I've really worked in just about every aspect of the industry.
And what inspired you to start your own?
I think for me, truly, it started because of COVID. The place that I was working was shut down and I had to keep working. So I took my clients and rented a space. And from there, it just kind of kept evolving. And I was really blown away by how much support I got from people and how my business has grown over the years, especially moving from out of state and starting over here. It's, I think, just the experience that I do have and the confidence that I do have, helps people find confidence in me and allowing me to help them, with their beauty journey.
Because you've experienced and you've seen so many like different patterns over the years with your clients, one of the biggest ones I hear about is overwhelm a lot. There's just too many products, too many steps, opinions. When
Right.
someone sits down in your chair feeling overwhelmed, where do you usually like to start?
That's a really good question. In today's world with social media, there are just so many things being thrown at you: videos, tutorials, product recommendations by so many different people. And the one thing I hear from a lot of women is they're just exhausted by it all. It just feels like none of it's actually for them. So when I have people come to my studio and want to talk about their skincare and beauty routine, I try to just simplify it and ask them what they're using, but also just ask them how these products make them feel. Do they like them? I mean, you're using something because someone told you to, but do you really like the product? Do you feel good using it? Their routine shouldn't feel stressful. It should feel sustainable and something that they can do every day. So from there, I'm more focused on just simplifying the routine, finding things that actually work for their skin and their lifestyle. So more about what works for them and not what they should be doing according to, the rest of the beauty world.
Right. When you're kind of going through the different services and things that you offer, what in particular service, like if you wanted to kind of go through like your routine with like I wanted to go through my routine with you, like what service would I want to pick so that we can kind of go through and say like, is this working for me? Is it not working for me? You could offer suggestions.
Yeah, I offer a makeup lesson. So it says makeup, which to me that just kind of encompasses the whole routine. So makeup to me also includes skincare, because if you don't have a good skincare routine, you're going to be putting makeup on top of skin that isn't well cared for, and it's not going to have the same effect and look as nice as it could look if you're, taking care of your skin in the way that you should, and moisturizing and SPF and all of that. So I would recommend booking a makeup lesson. And then that way, like I said, I can kind of give you the start to finish of what would work for you. And we can discuss that, create a plan.
I was just curious because it's like, how in detail do you go when it comes to just moisturizer and things like that, and cleansers, that kind of thing. But I like how it's like, okay, we'll leave you as like a blank canvas. And then this is what I would do to kind of just do the basics, and then we can kind of add to that once you feel really good about how you're feeling.
And a lot of times I have people come and bring their own products too. So I'll have them bring what they're using. So then that way we can kind of even just, I will obviously recommend things, but it is kind of nice, products are expensive. So if people have already made an investment in these products and they're feeling overwhelmed, I love to show them like, yes, you can use this. This is a good product. This is how you should use it properly and how it'll work for you, So that's also part of it too. It's not just me saying, throw it all away and start over. I like to sort of guide them with what they're already using.
And I feel like a lot of people have stuff that they probably just like sit around and they're like, I just don't know how to use this. So I just like avoid it and I don't use it. But coming to you to be like, this is how you need to be using it.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So once you kind of help get that calmness and overwhelm under control, are there certain types of products or formulas that you tend to recommend again and again with your clients, regardless of like brand, because they're just work well with everyone?
I am all about whatever works well for your skin, regardless of price or where you purchase it. I tend to recommend things, again, kind of touching on skincare. If you have like a great gentle cleanser, something that's not going to disturb your skin barrier, a solid SPF, that is the one thing that a lot of women just don't use daily. And that is going to make a huge difference in how you age, how your skin ages. So even if you could, I really like multitasking products as well. So even if you could do like a tinted moisturizer with an SPF, so that way you're getting a little bit of that, coverage from the tinted moisturizer that to even out your skin tone. Also, you're getting the SPF coverage. So I really like those kinds of products for people as well. The multitasking ones, like the lip and cheek products that you can kind of use for both if you're in a hurry or if you just want a very simple, quick routine. So yeah, those are kind of some of the things that, especially, it really just depends on someone's time and their lifestyle and their needs and wants. But typically the majority of women that I work with are busy. They're moms, they're working moms, they're business owners, that kind of thing. So they need something that's quick and easy, but that will make them feel like they can tackle the day and feel good about themselves.
2 questions for you.
Mhm.
What number SPF do you recommend for face?
I wouldn't go for daily use. I wouldn't really go any higher than a 30, just for incidental sun damage and driving in the car and all that. 30 is going to be fine. If you're out in the sun a lot during the day, you could do a 50, or you could even just carry like a SPF spray to sort of reapply during the day. That is something that I recommend to just throw that in your purse. It's almost like a refreshing spray too. So it kind of refreshes your face and wakes up your skin, and also adds a little extra layer of SPF. But I think one misconception is, well, I'm not outside and all that, but you'd be surprised how much sun exposure you can get just even in the car, walking into the grocery store.
Yes, I've seen stuff where people will say just like driving, having
Yes.
your hands on the steering wheel will like age your hands.
That's one of the things I recommend to people when they're putting on their SPF lotion. I mean, if it's tinted, I guess maybe not. But if you're using a regular SPF, you can take a little bit and put it on the back of your hand. So usually when I'm doing my moisturizer, I'll apply it, and then I'll just, whatever's kind of left over on my fingers, I'll rub it on my hands.
Okay.
And that kind of prevents those little sunspots and the sun damage on your hands from driving.
Yeah. No, that's like a little good like habit stacking thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Then my next question was, if you really want to go simple, how quick, in your opinion, can you get your makeup routine down? Can it turn into like a 5 to 10 minute thing?
I think it can. I do. Again, it definitely depends on how in depth you want to go. But I think if you can figure out what works for you and what products you really like and that make you feel good, I think you could do it in 5 to 10 minutes.
So even when people simplify, I hear a lot saying, I'm only using a free product, but I still don't love how it looks. When someone says that to you, what's the most common mistake you see, and what's one small tweak that usually makes a big difference in the way that the product is actually showing up?
Yeah. One of the most common things I see is that it's not that they're using the wrong products, it's just how they're applying them.
Mhm.
Again, a lot of people watch videos and things like that. And unfortunately, a lot of these videos are girls, in their 20s and really young, and they just don't really have a need to apply makeup any differently. Or some of these girls are putting it on so thick,
Mhm.
and it's more of like a mask rather than something that's going to enhance their features.
Mhm.
So to me, it's not always about changing your product. It's more about using the product you have. And sometimes you do need to change. I had a lady recently who was using, I think she's in her 50s, and she's using a really matte finish foundation.
Mhm.
And those kinds of things will settle into your fine lines. So they'll make your skin look really dry. So the people that should be using a matte foundation are typically younger women who have an oilier skin type, because it
Mhm.
helps kind of control the oil throughout the day. So
Mhm.
I had her switch to a long wear foundation because she does, work long days. But it has more of like a radiant finish. So it's going to reflect light and smooth her skin rather than sinking in and showing all those lines and dry areas of her skin.
Okay. Can you think of other examples? Because that's a really good one for someone who might be like, "Oh, no, I use a matte and I am in that age group where I don't have, like,
Yeah.
that oily skin
The other
anymore."
thing too is, heavy powders. Um, I don't mind powder. I think the way that people apply it though, it should be more of like a setting tool rather than something that you're caking onto your face. So for me, powder, instead of just brushing it on, I tend to push it into the skin.
Mhm.
That just helps kind of secure in any base makeup that you're wearing. And then it does kind of help smooth and even out your skin rather than just like dusting it on or brushing it. You're kind of just pressing in, which that is one of the things that I actually recommend to a lot of people when they're applying even like their under eye concealer or things like that. Pressing it into the skin instead of swiping and rubbing is going to give you more of like a smooth, even finish and help your makeup stay on better. So to
Mhm.
me, makeup should work with your skin, not you just layering makeup onto your face.
Okay.
That's not going to stay on all day. It's not going to have, that long wear power. So if you're actually working with your skin and pressing it in, and you can blend and things like that, but if you're pressing things into your skin, you're going to get more of that smooth, even coverage and finish and long wear.
Okay. And you teach people the different tools too that they should be using. Obviously, using your hands is okay for some, but there are certain things that you need to, whether it's the makeup sponges or the actual applicators.
I don't like sponges, I will say.
You don't like sponges? Okay.
I don't like sponges. That's the one thing I don't like. They are bacteria harboring unless you're using a new one every day or washing it. Well, the Beauty Blender, it's a beautiful tool. Don't get me wrong. I think that they work really well. I just think, most people don't wash their makeup brushes frequently. I'm one of them. I wash the ones I use at work every time, but when you're at home, things just, you use it every day and you forget to wash it, right? So I think sponges, while they can apply things really beautifully, they also tend to sort of soak up some of your product too. So I know people, sometimes will use a sponge and then they're like, oh no, where did all of it go? Sponges soak up liquid, right? So you got to be careful about that too. Sometimes I know you can wet your sponge a little bit first before applying liquids. That way it's not soaking up all of the product too.
Right.
And it gives
I
you
think that's what it does say in the description.
Okay.
When you get busy, you're not like, oh, did I wet this button? You're just like, put it on and let's.
Right. And in my opinion, and this is, everyone else has their own opinion. Brushes are great, but I think your fingers can be really good tools too. Don't be afraid to use your fingers if you need to. I think people get so intimidated by all the different tools and brushes available. And while they can be really, really helpful and fun to use, if you feel more confident applying things with your fingers and you can get a better finish and a better coverage, that's okay. It's okay to use your fingers. Make sure your hands are clean. But I use brushes, but sometimes if I get a little buildup of concealer under my eyes, I just take my fingers and the warmth of my, your ring finger is the best because it's the least amount of pressure, but that warmth from your finger will push that makeup right back in and settle the product, and you won't have that buildup anymore. So, I always tell people, don't be afraid to use your fingers if you feel like that's just easier for you.
Well, good to know about the sponge too.
Yeah.
Sure. If you talk with your esthetician and see is this really the best thing for you to be using?
Yeah. Again, if you have a couple that you go through that you cycle through and you wash them every few days, that's fine. I just think that we forget, and then they harbor a lot of bacteria.
Yeah. What do you use to wash your brushes, or what do you recommend? Just maybe stuff that people have at home.
Yeah, shampoo, a gentle shampoo, nothing, stripping or harsh. That can work. Some people don't like to use shampoo because shampoo can be expensive and they don't want to use it. But Sephora actually I use the Sephora brush shampoo. They have a actual shampoo that you use with soap, the shampoo in the water, but then there's also just a spray that you can use. So you can spray a little bit onto a paper towel and wipe your brush through it. That's kind of just a quick clean in between uses. If you just need to wipe off a shadow brush or something and use a different color, you can just clean with that spray. But again, Sephora, there's tons of different brands out there, but I have found Sephora works great.
Okay. So one thing your clients probably start to mention that my skin's texture is changing. It's different than what it used to be. And a lot of people feel like the makeup techniques that worked for them suddenly don't work anymore.
The older you get and the more your skin ages, less is more with makeup. I think a lot of times people try to cover up any imperfections with makeup, and that can age you, actually, putting on more on top of the skin that you're unhappy with. To me too, I think one of the biggest things that I find is just people get into their habits. Women, I know a lot of women just when they were younger wore this really black, rimmed their eyes with black liner, top and bottom. And it's just, sometimes you get so used to the way you look doing a certain technique that you don't feel like yourself if you don't have that on. But what I try to encourage is just give it a shot. Give yourself a week of not wearing all this heavy black eyeliner on your eyes, because that closes your eyes down, right? And when we age, our eyes close down, like our skin sags, our eyes get heavier. So to put all that black eyeliner on an eye that's already starting to sag, it's just going to bring it down even more, and it's going to sink it in rather than opening up and brightening our eyes. So that is one thing I try to encourage, especially with eye makeup, is less is more. Try to tone it down. No glitters, no shimmers, things that will accentuate any fine lines. You want to switch over to more of a matte finish for your eyes, something that's very smoothing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so those are some of the things that I try to help just women that maybe haven't heard that these are things that can help them look younger. Just help encourage some of those changes
and accentuate those areas that can really make your face look amazing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of makeup too, it should be fun. It should be fun to try different things, try different techniques. If you don't like it, even if someone says that that's what you should do, if you don't like it, if you don't like the way it looks, then you shouldn't do that. My thing is more just helping them find what makes them feel confident and look more like, be happy with their choices for who they are. Again, I can say this is what will make you look younger, this is what will make your skin look better, but at the end of the day, someone has to get up in the morning, put their makeup on, and feel confident. A lot of women don't. They feel overwhelmed. And for me, when someone leaves my studio and feels a little bit more encouraged and confident in their abilities and their makeup and who they are, then that's what I love.
Because confidence then just spreads out into all areas of your life. So.
Absolutely. I know for me, even on days that I'm just feeling really gross and I don't want to put makeup on and I'm just like, do I have to do all the things? I do. I try really hard to just at least put a little bit of makeup on, help wake up my skin. And then it's amazing how that really does change my attitude the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Makeup shouldn't be a burden to me. I think it should just be something that can be fun, but also can just help you feel confident inside as well as outside.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was a stay-at-home mom for several years. I would sometimes just tell myself, like, you need to shower and put on a little bit of makeup because you're going to show up so much better throughout the day, like with your husband and your kids. Like, you just need to take that time for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I love that I can just be encouraging in that way to women and not necessarily make them feel like they have to do that for other people, but do it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And to just help them be like, look how beautiful your eyes are. Like if only you knew how to just make them pop, So.
Right. And I think that's what I love about my job is just, like you said, opening up their eyes to what the possibilities are, and how it really doesn't have to be that hard. You don't have to overthink it. It really can just be a few simple techniques and things in your routine that will help you feel so much better,
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to take a quick pause here because I want to take a moment to highlight a local business that's really doing important work in our community. Parents, if your child could use extra academic support, I want to tell you about Teachers Who Tutor. Teachers Who Tutor connect students with local licensed teachers for one-on-one tutoring, both in person and online. Sessions are flexible and focused on individualized student needs. From elementary, high school, and even college, their tutors meet students where they are and help them grow. To learn more or get started, visit teacherswhotutor.co. That's teacherswhotutor.co, building brighter futures. Now let's get back to today's episode. What can someone expect out of a makeup lesson with you? Like how does it start?
Yeah, so typically, like I said, I have people bring in the products that they're using. I always like to kind of see what we're working with, right? See, how, if they're a product junkie, if they don't know anything about anything, so I always kind of say, bring your makeup bag and your skincare or whatever you want to bring, and we'll go through that. And then we'll kind of pick and choose what you want to keep. I'll show you the proper way to use it. And then I always send everyone home with, a chart that has all the products listed that I've used. And then the products that I recommended, I break it down to brushes and all of that. And then there's like a little face on the chart, and I'll just kind of write down where I put the product, the color, this and that, so they can kind of have a little cheat sheet at home. And then I always open it up, if they, I'm in open communication with all my clients. So if they have any questions or concerns, text me, call me, that kind of thing. I had a client recently who really needed some new brushes, and I told her, I said, there's so many different brush kits, but there's this one that I really like that I'm going to send you a link for. So I got home that night and I sent her the link, and she's like, oh, thanks. And then a few days later, she texts me and said, I've been using these products and these brushes are great. And I'm just feeling so much better. My makeup routine is so much faster because now I know exactly what to do. And, so I try to just, again, kind of set people up for success at home. So they're in the studio, we're having fun, we're doing makeup, but my goal is for them to then go home and be able to do that on their own and feel confident doing that.
How long do they usually last?
The makeup lesson? Typically it's about an hour and a half. Okay. Just depending on, I think I book it for an hour and a half, but sometimes we're quick if they just need a, quick little refresh, or we'll sometimes do the whole start to finish. So.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, like, how many people know how to use most of the products in their beauty bags, like first time clients?
I've yet to have one person who knows how to use every single product properly.
Okay.
I definitely have a lot of people pull products out of their bags that they go, I have this, I saw it online, it looked really cool. I have no idea how to use it. That's my whole thing. I'll recommend, but I also am there to help you figure out how to use it.
So I love that confidence that you were talking about, like with your clients coming back and now feeling more confident. At what point did you start noticing like confidence, especially around self-talk and mental health, and how they were just as important as products or treatments?
Honestly, it just kind of happened organically over time. I just realized after decades of working with women one-on-one, that what they're saying about their skin and their beauty routine isn't about that. It's more about how they're feeling about themselves, right? I just really started noticing how, self-talk, stress, life transitions, showed up more in the treatment room. And at some point it just really became clear that there's really no amount of products or specific product that can override how someone feels about themselves. So now I see my work, it's part technical, part emotional. It's a very emotional experience. I've had people cry in my chair, just feeling happy, overwhelmed. Usually they're happy tears. But I feel like I connect with them more emotionally than even just the whole makeup routine and technique and all of that. That's all great. But for me, it's more about creating a calm, supportive space. To me, that's just as important as the treatment itself. It's just making sure that they feel that they are enough and that they can do it and that they're doing the right thing and they're okay.
And we have a lot of, like, especially even in the health and beauty industry, so many voices talking at us that if someone can just sit down with you one-on-one and tell you exactly what you need to be doing when it comes to beauty care, like it's something you do every day.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a repetitive habit and something you're doing, like,
absolutely.
Why go through that not really knowing every single day? Am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right? Like, is
well,
it
and I think
off
a lot
my
of
best
times,
features?
yeah, and I think a lot of times people look at makeup as just this floofy, fun, it's makeup, it's fun, right? Like it's creative and it's artsy and it's just, I don't want to use the word shallow, but that is kind of what people have felt, right? Like, oh, you're just high maintenance and shallow and all you care about is how you look. Well, no, to me, after this many years in the beauty industry, I've really realized it really is more about how you're feeling inside. If how you feel inside reflects how you look outside, right? Like if there's days where I'm really not feeling well, you can see it in my eyes, you can see it in my confidence level. And I just think like women we are under so much pressure. We have so many things coming at us every single day, moms, work, wife life, this and that. It's just an endless cycle of things. And I feel like if makeup is that one thing that they can wake up in the morning and put on, and then it's going to motivate them to feel more confident throughout the day. It's going to I just think that to me it's more about just creating that confident, secure feeling in a woman rather than the high maintenance of it all, right? Sometimes women come in and they're like, "Oh, my husband says I'm so high maintenance because I get my eyelashes done or I, buy makeup and this and that." And I'm like, "No, if that is something that's to me it's self-care. If you feel like that is something that like you said, you do it every single day. So if you feel like that's something that is going to make improve your life and improve your mental state and your confidence and your mental health, then that's what you should do. Because it's a simple thing. It's something that you can easily attain, right? You can easily figure that out and then move on and be successful every day in your makeup routine.
Such a good point. I love that. You also live here and work right here in the community you
Yes.
serve. What do you love most about supporting people locally, and how does that relationship kind of influence the way that you approach your work?
Yeah, I love the fact that I am a local Erie resident. I love this little town. I have gotten so much support. Um, I have a young son and a husband who's a firefighter, so he works long days and long shifts, and so I'm kind of a single mom and I'm a business owner and all of that a lot of times when he's gone. So I love that I get to connect with people. I truly do feel so supported here, and I love that everywhere I go, I see someone I know, right? I see a client or just a child that my son goes to school with, and this and that. And it really is a small town, and there's so much support here. And I love that I get to be a part of a lot of these women's journeys, and through a very vulnerable, stressful time of their life, right? Like a lot of us really are in kind of that raising kids stage of our life, and it's really hard, and there's a lot of challenges daily. So when I can provide a calm, comforting space for people to come to and just lay down and relax and talk if they want or not, I actually offer a silent appointment if you want that. Some people feel awkward booking it, but I just tell them, you don't have to talk to me. It's okay. If you want to come in and just lay down, close your eyes, listen to some whatever music I have. I let them pick if they want their own music. This is your hour, or whatever time it is, to just be and just lay. We don't get a lot of that time as moms and wives and busy women. So I love that I'm able to provide a space like that in Erie for people to come. And that's one of the biggest main feedback I get is that your studio is just so relaxing. It's just so quiet and calm, and that my energy is calming. And so that's the biggest compliment I could ever get. That to me, that's what it's all about. I can do all of the beauty and skincare and all of that, but if you don't feel comfortable and calm in my space, then I'm not doing my job the way I want to.
Well, and even it's funny how our worlds kind of connect being here, and
Yeah.
you did the makeup for one of, my neighbors for her
Yeah.
wedding, and she too had so many, like, wonderful things to say about you too,
Aw.
and just the space that you offer, so
Yeah. That's great. I love that. Thank you.
just for the listeners, can you just share all of the different services that you offer just so that we're aware of that?
Sure. So I offer a couple different facials, and then I also offer eyelash extensions, eyelash lifts and tints, eyebrow tinting and waxing. I also do full body waxing. So pretty much anything you need waxed, I can do that. I do makeup. So for events, weddings, special occasions, things like that. I also do permanent makeup. So permanent makeup is, eyebrow microblading, permanent eyeliner, and permanent lip blushing, which is a
Mm.
really fun service that I would love to do more of.
Mhm.
So that's
Is it really permanent, the lip blushing? Like, does it
well,
eventually kind of
it
fade off
eventually
or
fades. Yeah. So your lips, see a lot of movement and a lot of sun and all of that. So over time, you do need to get it touched up. I would say probably every couple years for
Mhm.
most permanent makeup is when you want to do a little touch up. And it's not that it's, gone. It's just that maybe the color needs to be a little refreshed.
Right. I was just thinking, like, talk about one service that would simplify a routine for someone, not
Yes.
needing to apply that all the time, or maybe just applying a gloss on top of the tint would be
Yeah. Yeah, my mom has her lips done and I just saw her in Florida and she's like, "I still love my lip blush. It just makes me feel like a little bit more put together even if I don't have lipstick on." It just kind of brings a little I feel like as we age too, that is one thing that kind of goes away is the color in our lips. It just kind of
Mhm.
I don't know, for whatever reason, it just sort of fades out. So that is something if people want a simpler beauty routine. Again, like you said, you can kind of just throw on a gloss or a little lip balm or something over top of that once you've got that done.
This year, 2026 on the Erie Wellness Podcast, we're trying to get the community a little bit more involved in the podcast. So I've been posting who I'm interviewing that week, and then we've been collecting like listener questions. So I told them who I was interviewing, so they know a little bit about your background. You and we picked one question from that group, and the question was, if you had to pick just one service to simplify my beauty routine, what would you recommend and why?
It kind of depends on the person and what their goals are for their daily look.
Mhm.
I know permanent makeup is definitely one of those things that can make your life a lot easier. If you're someone who has to fill in their eyebrows every day because they're a little misshapen or a little sparse in certain areas, getting your eyebrows done is helpful in that way. That way, I
Mhm.
actually have mine done. So I am a little sparse, and so I just get it done to where I don't have anything in my eyebrows now. So I just have that permanent makeup there to help fill that in.
Mhm.
Eyebrows really do frame your face. So that is one of the big permanent makeup services that I do offer.
Mhm.
Permanent eyeliner, permanent lip blushing. Those are going to be some things you'll just wake up kind of feeling ready and only have to do maybe a couple things in your actual makeup routine.
Mhm.
If you're someone who has been blessed with gorgeous thick eyebrows, I think an eyebrow wax can make all the difference.
Mhm.
Or if you're someone who has really light colored eyebrows and just wants, one of my favorite services is the eyebrow tint and wax. I think that can just make a huge difference. If you've already got, really nice eyebrows that need shaping, a tint can kind of just wake them up and richen them up. And help them show up a little bit more. And then a wax, the shaping can really, like I said, frame your face. If you are someone who doesn't like mascara, eyelash extensions are a great option. They are a little bit more maintenance, so you have to come in every few weeks to get them touched up. The other service that is really fun and a lot of people love that maybe don't want eyelash extensions is an eyelash lift and tint. So it's
Mm.
essentially a perm for your eyelashes.
Mhm.
So it's where instead of having to use an eyelash curler every day, they would be permanently curled. So you can still wear
Mm.
mascara, and you can still, do anything you want to your lashes. They're just going to have that permanent curl. So sometimes, like really light hair people, when they get them tinted black, they almost feel like they don't even need to wear mascara because once they're curled and they show up and they're black, you don't really
Mhm.
need the mascara. So those are some
Mhm.
different options for different needs.
I didn't even know you could give your, like, eyelashes a little perm because
Yeah.
I'm trying to, like they'll be, like, going everywhere, and I'm trying to just use what do you even
Right.
call it? The
Yeah.
little
So even if
brush to get them to, like,
yes,
go up correctly.
even if you already have lashes that are curled, sometimes your lashes can be a little twisted and wonky, and even if they are a little too curly, they can maybe not kind of go in the direction you want them to. So a lash lift can work for that too. It just kind of
Mm.
gives them a nice even curl.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So you've called Erie home for almost 4 years now. Is there any places or businesses that you have felt like have really just made you feel at home and in this community?
Yes, speaking of home, I actually just closed on a home.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're kind of in the middle of a move right now, but I will tell you, home buying can be very, very stressful,
Mhm.
but I had the most amazing team you could ever ask for. Lindsay Sampier Baker was my realtor. She's fabulous. She literally will do anything, any time of day.
Aw.
Sometimes I had to tell her, like, take a break. It's okay. We're fine. She's
Mhm.
just wonderful. She's so easy to work with, so kind, so smart, just so on it. Anything you need, she has it done immediately. And Kim Clancy with Mindful Mortgage, she was absolutely fantastic. I am so overwhelmed by all of numbers in general.
Mhm.
And she just made it so easy. She really just took it on and answered all of my questions. And the whole process, actually, I've been really surprised at how not stressed out I've been during this whole process. So I really feel like now that we're moving into our, hopefully permanent home, and I've got a great support team that got us in there, and we're just really happy to continue our life here in Erie.
Awesome. Well, that's great that the 2 of them were able to kinda help you really establish your roots here. I feel like
Yeah.
once you buy a place, you're like, "Okay, we're here."
Yeah,
So
absolutely. We're here for the long haul.
well, as we wrap up our conversation today, the last question that I have for you as we continue this season focused on wellness, confidence, and feeling more at home in ourselves this year, especially because I know that for some people, that's one of their goals for 2026. So, what's the one message you hope listeners take away from your approach to beauty?
The one message, I would probably say you are enough.
I love
You
that.
are enough. You can do it. You are capable.
Mhm.
Um, and don't listen to the noise.
Mhm. Andrea, thank you
Yes.
so much for sharing your heart, your story, and the care you bring to the women you work with. This conversation was such a beautiful reminder that confidence doesn't come from perfection, it comes from feeling supported and comfortable in your own skin. And to everyone listening, thank you for being here. If this episode resonated with you, I hope you'll share it with someone who could use that reminder today. And as always, when you start to feel better, you start showing up better, and you deserve
Mhm.
that.
Definitely. Thank you so much. This was so fun.
All right, friends, before we wrap up, here's the part I need to share. This podcast is for educational and inspirational purposes only. I'm just your friend behind the mic. Nothing shared on this podcast creates a patient relationship with any of our guests or replaces the guidance of your physician, professional coach, or other qualified expert. And the views shared by guests are entirely their own and don't necessarily reflect the beliefs or values of the Erie Wellness Podcast. My goal is to simply create a space for real, open conversations that help us all learn, grow, and feel a little more connected on our wellness journeys. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you back here next time. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Erie Wellness Podcast. If something from this conversation resonated with you, I hope you'll take it with you into your week or share it with someone in our community who might need it. To subscribe, just head to the main page for the Erie Wellness Podcast, right where you're listening, and tap subscribe. And don't forget, when you start to feel better, you start showing up better in all areas of your life, and you deserve that.